Common electrical myths that I found online, and I figured we can discuss them.
Should I disconnect my appliance every time I'm done using it? Extension cords are not safe. Just voltage in the wall with nothing plugged into it is 120 volts. When you plug something in there, now you're drawing energy. That energy is what's gonna stop your heart, and that's what kills people. And more people die from standard household appliances than any other electricity out there. Hey Tyler, I hear we have some questions today that you're gonna ask me, and I'll see if I know the answers to.
Yeah, well, I figured with your 150 years of experience in the field that we can.
You seen my walker?
I would just have some common electrical myths that I found online, and I figured we can discuss them.
Let's do it. Let's start. What do we got?
Yeah. First one I have here is that when you switch off appliances, they stop drawing electricity.
Depends on the appliance.
Yeah.
Today's appliances know everything's pretty much running some load at some time, because we got clocks that are running, memories that are in these things. So there's a little bit of a draw being drawn from just about anything if it's plugged in. You know, some people will tell you if you want, just unplug everything when you're not using it. The voltage draw that's in a lot of these appliances, and I'm picturing appliances that you don't unplug normally. Let's say your dryer, your oven, your cooktops, your any of those type of appliances. Yeah. Do they draw a little bit? Yeah. Is it worth unplugging them? Well, different theories. So you can't unplug some of those because they don't have a plug, they're hardwired.
You said they draw something. When I leave in my oven plugged in at home, what is it drawing? How much is it drawing?
I'll be transparent with you. It's something we've been talking about probably for 20 years. Yeah. And they would have devices that would monitor what they're drawing. It was some snake oil years ago where you could plug something in that would kind of keep you from drawing stuff from appliances that are plugged in. But my theory on that, and if you own a house and you're paying for electricity, I think it's going to be a very little amount of electricity. Okay. My theory is, because what you're running, let's use an oven for an example. It's an electronic device. It's got to maintain memories for the clock. It's got to maintain settings. You are going to draw something, but I don't think you're drawing much more than a percentage of an amp, in a small percentage. Homeowners can type that into a chat or into Google and get that answer. If it's something that concerns them from an electrician perspective, yes, it does draw a little something. Should I disconnect my appliance every time I'm done using it? I unplug some of my appliances. I unplug my toaster oven. I unplug our air fryer. I don't unplug my coffee maker. I use it every single day. You know, I can't unplug my cooktop. It's hardwired. I don't unplug my dryer. I got to move it to unplug it. Yeah. So those aren't convenient. Yes, they draw a little something. When you turn that power button off, it is not zero, but it's very, very little. I mean, so little where an amp pro probably wouldn't measure it. You know, they do have more sensitive test equipment that you could really see what it's going to be drawing, but not something that I would worry about. Doesn't mean other people aren't going to see that from a different perspective, but my personal view on that is it's the price we pay for having the conveniences of owning a home with appliances.
The second one I have here is that power strips and extension cords are always a safe way to extend your circuits and bring power to other locations.
No, of course, yeah, you can plug as many as you want. Just keep plugging them into, and it's really safe.
Yeah, just forever.
That's full sarcasm in there. I mean, I think, and I only said it because most people, I think, know extension cords are not safe. They're not safe if improperly used. Extension cords are a temporary form of getting power somewhere. They're not a permanent electrical installation. Yeah. You should never plug an extension cord into something that's going to be permanent. And if you're using the plug strip, I recommend, when possible, plugging them into a surge protected plug strip. Plug strips all have their own circuit breaker built into them, and they're usually rated at 15 amps max. Yeah. Now, you might have 6 receptacles on a plug strip, and some of them have even more. So it doesn't mean that you can plug in a whole bunch of stuff there, like space heaters, and you're going to be able to run them on that because more plugs means more power. That's not the case. You still only have the power that's going to be able to be utilized based off of the overcurrent protection device built into that surge protector. They're fine if they're plugged into, say, a wall plug, and then you're using that for your computer, your printer, that kind of stuff.
That's low draw items.
Low draw items, you're not going to, I don't recommend anyone plugging space heaters or anything with heating elements or appliances into plug strips. To answer your question, no, it's not okay to use those for permanent usage.
The final one is really surprising that I even came across it. It says here that household voltage isn't actually dangerous. The voltage you have in your home running all your plugs in your
Sure.
lights?
Another great question, because you hear it all the time. Oh, it's just 120 volts.
Yeah.
The guys that know just enough, they know it's 120 volts. Oh, it's just 120 volts. It's like a 9-volt battery. It's not that dangerous.
Yeah.
The reality is, standard household electrical voltage, 120 volts, is the most common voltage that it's killed more people than any other voltage out there. Even lineman high voltage, 240 volts, bigger appliances, 120 volt household voltage is by far the most deadly voltage out there. And next question I'm going to answer it for you is why.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's everywhere. All homes are wired with it. It's everywhere, and people don't understand it. That's another reason people don't understand it. It's not the voltage that kills you, is what a lot of people don't realize. It's the amperage that kills you. Yeah. Voltage hurts. If you have 120 volts and you know your kid plugs something into an outlet, for instance, his hair will stand up and it's going to hurt, and he probably will never do that again. You know, yeah. That's a good way to teach your kids. Now it is why we put safety devices on our plugs and why they use tamper-proof receptacles in all new homes today, which I highly recommend. Yeah. We don't want our kids getting injured, but it's the appliances that are plugged into those receptacles that are drawing energy. Again, just voltage in the wall with nothing plugged into it is 120 volts. When you plug something in there, now you're drawing energy. Yeah. That energy is what's going to stop your heart, and that's what kills people. Yeah. And usually it's from frayed cords that are being used. Example for that, say I have a vacuum. I ran over the cord many times. It's frayed the wires where I have exposed wires in there. Yeah. So I have my vacuum and I'm vacuuming, I'm holding the cord here. I've got a 13 amp vacuum being drawn here, and I grab that cord where we have a fray. That's a very dangerous situation. Yeah. So being mindful for the health and the condition of all your cords on your appliances that you're using is very important, because more people die from standard household appliances and standard household 120 volts than any other electricity out there. And for our viewers out there, if you have any other questions or any other myths you might think of and you would like some answers to, leave the comments below, or you can send us an email or give us a call.